I broke these football matches down step by step and put together a strong parlay, selecting the most reliable options. We are also going to build a crazy parlay with huge odds of 71 from 4 selections, so make sure to watch till the end. Alright, let's not waste a second, let's get straight into the analysis. First parlay, first event, Armenia versus Belarus. And this is exactly the kind of match where the fixture looks very even, maybe even a bit boring. But if you properly break down the form of both teams and the way they are playing right now, a very clear logic appears for goals and for the overall game script. Because the Armenian national team is in really bad shape right now. And this is not just a bad run, it is a real system collapse. 8 losses in 10 matches, goal difference 8-35. That is a disaster, especially for a mid-level national team. And the biggest problem is that they are struggling everywhere. The defense keeps falling apart and the attack creates almost nothing. Around 0.7 xg on average is the kind of level where you depend on random mounts, not on actual football. And in this state, they face the Belarus national team, which on the contrary is slowly starting to recover. Yes, their qualification campaign was weak too, but the ending already showed that this team can compete. Draws against Denmark and Greece are serious results. On top of that, under the new coach, some structure has appeared. 2 clean sheets in a row and the win over Cyprus. That tells you the team is becoming more organized and more disciplined. Buddy, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post match analysis every day, and I always try to keep my subscribers in profit. I am also always happy to read fair criticism and your well-argued picks in the comments. I read everything. Thanks for the support, let's keep going. And here's the interesting part. Belarus are not some super high-scoring team, and they do not score in bunches, but against a side like Armenia, they don't need many chances. 1 or 2 moments can be enough, because the home team's defense is making way too many mistakes right now. But at the same time, I would not fully write Armenia off either, because at home they sometimes still show some fight, and against a side that is not exactly elite, they may still find one chance. So what we get here is one team in poor form but playing at home, and another one that is more organized but not especially explosive in attack. And these kinds of games often go into a controlled over. Not a blowout, but 2 or 3 goals are very realistic because of mistakes and open spaces. On top of that, both teams are unstable enough to give chances out of nowhere. So the picture for me is this. Belarus look a bit stronger based on current form, but the match is unlikely to be a that 0-0 type of game. There should be chances on both sides. That's why my pick here is over 2 goals in the parlay. Because even without the brightest football, that line still looks very playable. With more risk, I would go for BTTS yes, based on the scenario where Armenia still finds one moment at home. And for the crazy parlay, I'll take Belarus over 1.5 goals at also 3. Guys, here's my Telegram and my stats. I work as transparently and honestly as possible. I even pay taxes as an individual entrepreneur. I am one of the few in this space who actually works openly and fairly. The link is in the description below. First parlay, second event, Arsenal Tula versus Sokol. And here I found a very interesting pick. Because on paper, the match looks simple, but if you dig deeper, the logic actually gets even stronger and clearer. Arsenal Tula just came through a difficult stretch, but that win in Khabarovsk was not just 3 points. It was a psychological turning point. Before that, there had been a deep and real pressure on the coach. But then the team pulled itself together and got the result. Another important detail is that this is the first home match after the break, back at their own stadium, where teams like this always play with more confidence and more pragmatism. Arsenal know how to control the game through possession. They are one of the better teams in the league in that area. And they also have set pieces that already helped them win games before. Now let's look at Sokol Saratov. And here the picture is as weak as it gets. 0 points in the second half of the season, a coaching change changed nothing. And the biggest problem is the attack. 7 straight matches without scoring. That is already a system issue, not just bad luck. Even more than that, away from home they have only 3 goals in 12 matches, one of the worst records in the league. This team creates almost nothing and clearly has no belief itself going forward. So the scenario becomes very obvious. Arsenal will play from a position of strength, but without unnecessary risk. Because right now the main theme for them is to stabilize. Sokol offer almost nothing in attack, while the host defense is stronger now with Bolshakov back. In these games, the favorite usually wins calmly without open football. So the logic is simple. I'm taking BTTS no in the parlay because the visitors had almost no chance to score. With more risk, Sokol under 0.5 goals as a single. They simply do not score. And for the crazy parlay, I'm taking Arsenal win plus under 2.5 goals at odds of 3. Second parlay first event, Rodina versus Ural. And here I immediately found a very interesting pick because on paper the game looks balanced, but if you break down the current form of both teams, it becomes clear that the balance is actually heavily shifted toward the home side. Rodina and Moscow are simply at their peak right now. 11 goals in 4 spring rounds, the best attack in the league over that stretch, and in 11 of their 17 matches they scored at least twice, while their average XG is around 1.8. That is elite for this league. And the most important thing is that they regularly start matches strong. In 7 of their last 9 matches, they were leading at halftime. Now look at Ural, and here it is the opposite. A clear dip in form. Only 4 points from 4 rounds, plus that 2-4 loss to Yenisei, where they completely collapsed late in the game. Away from home it looks even worse. Just 1 goal in the last 4 matches, and there are also serious squad problems. No Ishkov, the midfield is weaker, and that is critical against a team that plays so actively through the middle. So the scenario for me is very clear. Rodina push from the first minutes, they are the most confident attacking team in the league right now, while Ural are unstable and vulnerable, especially in central areas. Yes, the hosts do concede, that is true, so I am not expecting a fully closed game, but the difference in attacking potential is obvious. That is why I am taking over 2 goals in the parlay. Rodina alone are capable of clearing that line, and Ural, even with all their problems, may still find one moment. With more risk, I would take BTTS yes as a single, because the host's defense is not perfect. And for the crazy parlay, I'm going with Rodina win plus over 3.5 at 2.9. Second parlay second event, Real Zaragoza versus Racing. And here it looks like a classic leader versus relegation candidate story. But if you dig a bit deeper, the match is not as simple as it seems at first glance. And that is exactly where an interesting bet appears. Real Zaragoza are in the relegation zone right now, and overall they look weak this season, especially at home. Second worst in the league by home results. But there is one important point. Defensively they have looked quite solid in recent home matches, conceding only 3 goals in their last 5 games there. And that tells you the team is trying to play carefully and build from defense. At the same time, they still manage to find moments in attack now and then. They scored in 5 of their last 7 home matches. Now look at Racing. League leaders, excellent form, they were on a run of 4 straight wins before the last round, and the attack is flying. In 3 of their last 4 matches, the games had at least 4 total goals. What matters most is that they don't relax against weaker opponents, and that is a key factor in matches like this. Yes, they do have some absences, and that may affect stability a bit, but overall their level is still clearly higher. The scenario is easy to read. Zaragoza will play cautiously, but they cannot sit in defense for the whole match because they need points. Racing will come here to win and will push, as they usually do against teams below their level. That is exactly why the goals angle appears. Both teams have arguments in attack, even if the hosts are more defensive in style. So I am taking over 2 goals in the parlay. Racing are capable of carrying this total by themselves, and Zaragoza can still steal 1 goal. With more risk, I would go for BTTS yes as a single. And for the crazy parlay, I'm taking Racing win plus over 1.5 goals at odds of 3. Hope you appreciated this detailed analysis and drop a like on the video.